Okay, let's unpack this. The word change, it can often feel a little daunting, right? Like it's something to, well, resist or maybe brace ourselves against. But what if it's not just inevitable, but actually essential for us to truly thrive and grow? Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into this surprising but incredibly vital link between change and our mental health. We're pulling insights mainly from a really interesting article by Eugene Therapy titled Why Change is Important for Your Mental Health. Our mission for this deep dive is, well, to go beyond the obvious stuff. We want to explore the specific, maybe hidden reasons why embracing change isn't just, a good idea, why it's a crucial driver for your personal growth, for boosting your productivity, and really significantly improving your overall well being. By the end of this, we're hoping to help you fundamentally shift how you see it. See change less like an obstacle and more like a powerful, kind of unavoidable opportunity for transformation. So let's jump right into an immediate, pretty practical benefit, how embracing change can actually make you significantly more productive. Gene Therapy highlights that even, quote, small changes in your daily routine can lead to significant results. We're talking about things like, prioritizing your to-do list better, planning your day, maybe just a bit more in advance, or actively eliminating distractions. Now, for someone who feels maybe overwhelmed by the idea of change, even small ones, where do they start? How do they find that mental space to even implement them? And here's where it gets really interesting. How can these tiny shifts open up bigger possibilities?
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here is how these, well, seemingly minor adjustments, they don't just save time. They actively cut down on what psychologists sometimes call decision fatigue or cognitive load.
Mm-hmm.
When your routine is a bit more streamlined, your brain isn't constantly being taxed by all these minor choices, right?
Yeah.
This frees up crucial cognitive bandwidth, mental space and energy, and that can then be dedicated to what truly matters to you. When you increase your productivity, you get more time back. Time to concentrate on those important things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just about churning out more work, it's about doing it more efficiently. So you gain this agility, this confidence to pivot effectively when you need to.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, think professionally. Embracing change might mean learning new skills that help you advance in your field. The article even points out quite directly that if you're unhappy with your job, making a change isn't just an option. It's actually a fundamental necessity for your well-being.
That makes perfect sense. It really does. And it makes me wonder, if greater productivity frees up that mental space you mentioned, does that then sort of inherently lead to a better ability to embrace bigger changes later on?
That's a great point. It often does.
It seems like those small productivity wins could cascade, freeing us up not just for more tasks, but for something maybe far more profound, personal exploration. Which conveniently brings us to our next crucial benefit, how change really fuels personal growth. The piece emphasizes that it allows you to, quote, explore new things and learn from different experiences. But how exactly does this exploration help us understand ourselves on a deeper level?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, maybe consider how stepping outside your comfort zone, even just slightly, can reveal strengths and passions you hadn't even recognized yet.
Right.
Embracing change genuinely helps you understand more about yourself, about your limits, sure, but also your desires. It essentially builds your self-efficacy, which is really your belief in your own capacity to succeed. By trying new things, you're not just finding new hobbies or something. You're actively constructing a stronger sense of who you are. You're discovering what you really love, and, maybe surprisingly, what you excel in.
Mm.
And as you gather that wisdom from these new experiences, you're able to make better, more informed decisions about your life and your future. Ultimately, this whole journey of self-discovery, it can help you find your true calling, maybe. It can truly illuminate your path in life.
That's a really powerful way to look at it, especially that idea of actively building your sense of self. But let's be honest for a second. One of the biggest hurdles, psychologically speaking, with change is the fear of messing up, making mistakes. We're often sort of conditioned to avoid them at all costs. Yet the Eugene Therapy article states pretty boldly, there's, quote, no shame in making mistakes, but it's, quote, how you react to them that truly matters. It even goes so far as to say that, quote, mistakes aren't wrong, they are simply opportunities to do better and improve. Now, this feels really counterintuitive to many of us, I think. Can you elaborate on the maybe surprising insight behind this? How can we genuinely reframe our perception here?
Yeah, this raises a really important question for everyone listening. How might shifting your perception of mistakes, seeing them not as failures, but as learning opportunities, how might that unleash your potential? The surprising insight here, I think, is that embracing mistakes isn't just about learning in the abstract. It's about actively building resilience
Mm-hmm.
and fostering what's called a growth mindset.
Mm-hmm. Resilience.
When you accept that change is just, well, part of life, and you start to embrace it, you become far more likely to try new things. Just dip your toe in the water.
Yeah.
This willingness to experiment is where the real iterative learning happens. So when you make a mistake, you're not failing. Not really. You're actively engaged in iterative learning. You're proving to yourself you can navigate errors and adapt.
Okay.
Each time you successfully overcome an error, you strengthen your capacity for adaptability.
Hmm.
You prove to yourself you can handle uncertainty, which directly impacts your mental fortitude for future changes down the road.
Hmm.
This whole approach to mistakes, seeing them as these growth opportunities, it can actually help you become more efficient in your daily tasks and significantly improve in the long run.
So it's about reframing mistakes as stepping stones, yeah, not roadblocks, actively building that resilience muscle. And that leads us quite nicely to another fascinating point the article makes: how embracing change can bring incredible clarity, helping you see what is important to you, whether that's in your relationships or, your career path. The article mentions a ripple effect. Interesting phrase. How does one change actually reverberate through our lives? How does it reveal our often hidden priorities and maybe deepest values?
It's a great concept. Think about how a significant shift in your life, maybe even an unexpected one, how it could unexpectedly illuminate your deepest values and desires, things you didn't even know were that important. The
Yeah.
article describes this ripple effect beautifully, actually. It gives an example. When you change jobs, it's not just about the new colleagues and maybe new friendships, though that's part of it.
Okay.
It might mean a different commute, right? Which could lead to finding a new podcast you love or just having more time for reflection. It could alter your daily energy levels, which then impact your evening activities. Maybe it encourages you to pick up a hobby you dropped, which in turn introduces you to new communities, new people, expands your worldview.
Wow, yeah.
Each small shift creates these sort of concentric circles of change, and they reveal what you prioritize in your daily life, not just the big relationships, but your time, your energy, your passions. By actively observing these ripple effects that changes have in your life,
Yeah.
you gain a much clearer understanding of what truly holds significance for you. This clarity, ultimately, it helps you become more focused and genuinely know what you want out of life.
Okay. So what does this all mean for us then, as we kind of bring this deep dive toward a close? The core message from Eugene Therapy seems wonderfully clear. Change is, well, undeniably, a fundamental part of life, and it's not just beneficial to embrace it, it's pretty much essential. It's how we improve, how we progress, not just as individuals, but as friends, even as coworkers.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. To truly thrive and progress, we really have to actively cultivate that willingness to embrace change, seeing it as a catalyst for growth and self-discovery rather than something to just fear and avoid.
Right. And maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. If change is essential for growth, like we've discussed, and if mistakes are really just learning opportunities that build our resilience, then perhaps the biggest mistake isn't trying something new and maybe failing at it. Perhaps the biggest mistake is avoiding change altogether and maybe never truly discovering what you're capable of or what genuinely matters to you at your core.